For 2 months, the GT Winter Series and Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Championships have played out across Iberia, racing on iconic tracks like Portimão, Estoril and Valencia, with the final rounds being here in Barcelona. My name is Kieran, and for the last 2 months I've followed the championships across Portugal and Spain with Alpha Live to broadcast the racing. You may have seen some of the broadcasts that we have produced, but what you didn't see is the work that happens behind the scenes to make it all happen. Since January, I've used my GoPro to document what goes into producing a series like this. Everything from laying cables to operating cameras, bringing you with me behind the curtain to see how it all comes together. So let's jump back to when this all began. This is the Winter Series. So we started initially in Estoril. For events like this, you will have a core team on site ahead of the rest of the crew to rig all the kit, test all the camera feeds and generally just prepare for the live day. The core team consisted of myself, Joe, Morgan and Luke, who also doubled as project manager for the GT Winter Series. Unfortunately, Morgan had a date conflict for the first weekend, so we had Anthony, or DJ as we call him, for that initial rigging week. Now typically our priority when we first get on site is running fibre cables to link all the camera feeds to production, but thankfully DJ and Luke had been there the day before laying out the fibre cables around the circuit, meaning it was one less job for us to do. So me and Joe went about getting cables run around the pit building initially. These were just to connect production to the commentary box and any antennas for receiving camera feeds. Then we had to set up wireless receivers so our pit lane camera feeds could be plugged straight into those cables. Next I went out to test the pit lane camera. Okay Luke, have you got roaming feed clear? Zero breakup, that's good. Kieran to Luke, can you confirm you got me on the grid? Cool, I'll head back to top room and turn it all off then. Next is the track cameras. So we have 2 types of track cameras, static and operated. On the bridge over the back straight, for example, we had a couple of static cameras. So what we do is we set the cameras up like we would on race day, and then hopefully it comes into production without an issue. The statics were connected to the fibre network, so they had no trouble coming in. After that, me, DJ and Joe head out onto the circuit to our camera positions to check those feeds, while Luke stays in production to check everything his end. I first went down to camera 1 down at the first corner. Each camera has a self-contained production box and a camera box. So first thing you do is get everything powered up, and in this instance we're beaming a signal over antenna back to the receiving antenna on the pit building that we set up earlier. Unfortunately, turn 1 from Estoril is a bit tricky as there's a big gantry doing its best to block any line of sight, and this is where we ran into issues. We spent ages trying to align that antenna and get a reliable connection, and by the time that we did, it was starting to go dark, so we had to call it a day. The next morning we arrived bright and early at the track to try and finish the remaining cameras, and thankfully, barring one slight blunder from me...
That's the no signal screen.
I can tell you exactly why that is. I should probably have turned on the camera. They all came in quickly and stable. So we just finished the remaining cameras and Estoril was done. Okay, so we're basically done at Estoril now. As you can see, the kit is done. Commentator room and everything, all absolutely done and dusted. Wow. So now what we've got to do is we've got to go all the way to Portimão. So let's go. We'd actually arrived 4 days before the event because we had 2 events to rig that first weekend. Estoril was hosting the GT Winter Series and Portimão was hosting Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. So once Estoril was done, we had to drive 3 hours south to Portimão. The next morning it was time to begin setting up Portimão. First is production. Estoril was being run from the OB van, whereas Portimão will use a makeshift production we build in the designated TV rooms. So that requires a lot of kit going up 2 floors, and while there is a lift, it only goes up 1 floor, not 2. So yeah, not ideal. Sounds good to me. Ready? Once we're up there, we first hook up the flight case, which houses the production computers and the network components. Then we build the desks around that. Same as Estoril, we need to run cables, and in this instance, we had a fair bit of fibre to run. Now, a lot of especially more modern circuits actually have a built-in fibre network that TV companies can patch into when they're broadcasting there. So in theory, all we need to do is get the fibre cable from our camera point, plug it into the nearest connection box of their network, and then receive the feed out of the other end. Easy, right? As you'd expect, there's a lot of different ports, and most of it's honestly trial and error. Trying different ports until you find a working one from the designated point that you need. Okay, so here's the situation. Essentially, I'm in the data center thingy at the moment. I can't show you what I'm looking at, but basically it's a lot of ports for fibre optics. And we're having trouble seeing some of the signals coming through. This is the trouble. It just takes ages to work this out when you don't know when... I mean, we've got maps in front of us, but it's tricky. It's tricky when you don't quite know the venue. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bingo! Yes, I see a light. Wonderful.
So you need a patch cable from 5 to 5 in here, and then you plug into 5 over there, and then Bob's your uncle, Ken's your aunt. You've got fibre up there.
Excellent. So once we've patched into all the correct ports, all we need to do is run the fibre cables from the circuit boxes to our camera points and connect the cables into our boxes. Welcome to a beautiful sunny afternoon in the Algarve, and now it's time to run all of the fibre cables to each of the individual points. As you can see, we've got one running here at the moment, and basically what I'm doing is just, sounds stupid, but I've got to stop it from reeling itself. Oh, you're out.
That's all I've got, yeah?
That is all you've got, yes. Right, cool. Well, now we're going to plug it into that box.
Camera 2.
Camera 2, what colours are they?
Orange and
So
green.
we spend a couple of hours running cables and then to end the day building scaffolding platforms for the required camera positions. Alright, so it's second day of setup here at Portimão, and essentially what we're going to do today is test the cameras. That is all we've got to do now. Now, there was actually a fair bit more fibre work to be done, but it was just the smaller stuff. So while Joe and DJ head out on circuit to test cameras, I went out to patch in the last remaining fibre boxes and plug into the mains where we could use it too. Unfortunately, because we had both of those events that first weekend, it did mean that they had to take the van back to Estoril to work that event. So I was left behind to complete setup by myself. Alright, so everyone has headed off now, and that's the team for Estoril this weekend, so where we were obviously at the start of the week. I'm at Portimão all by my lonesome. I'm by myself, there's nobody else here. I've got 2 more cameras to test. I've got to go and connect up one of the points, and then that is set up for Portimão, pretty much done. Right, I'm not exactly sure where this camera is supposed to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the footage from last year. Okay, so they're actually a bit further up than this. Yeah, you almost want it to be... yeah, I reckon it's here. Because it was just me, I was in contact with Stuart, who was based at Alpha's office back in the UK. He was remoting into the production PC to see camera feeds.
Yeah, I've got the encoder, Kieran.
Perfect, okay. Once that final camera position was set up, we were ready for race day. Well, it's race day, and this is what the entire of the last week has been building up to. So everything is in place. We're going to head to the track now, get the final preparations, all the camera ops out to their positions, and then we go live at 10 o'clock-ish, give or take. How are we?
Tired, sleepy, but alright.
Now, race day can get a bit hectic, especially in the morning when all the crew arrives. So my job as a runner for race day is to help get all the camera ops kitted up and out to their positions, then basically being there to solve any issues.
So my my camera, I've got my camera and my HDMI monitor.
Yeah.
Where are my batteries for my camera?
They're all up there. So, Sam, you... The 156, yep, there you go, there's your tripod.
Cheers.
Alex, 144, yep, there's your tripod.
Thank you.
No worries. Dan, you are 143, there you go. Jack, you're both of those, yes.
Kieran?
Morning, how are we?
You?
Not bad, thank you. Oh, 155.
Tripods past 156 don't exist, so.
That makes sense. That makes sense, yeah.
So if you've been looking for the 157 tripod, you're
I was looking for the 157. Yes, never mind. Kieran to James, are you receiving a picture on 135? Alright, so all the statics are set up, all the ops are at their points. I have set up my statics as you've just seen. So now it's a case of I'm on standby essentially in case anything needs doing. So the way that I put it is I'm here to put out fires, I'm here to solve problems, I'm here in case anybody needs anything. That is my job for today. So once all the cameras are on and ops are out at positions, the runner is based out of production to lend an extra pair of hands.
Hello.
All right.
There you, mate.
Yeah, not bad.
Panic station's ready for a minute?
Oh, all good.
Ready to freak out? You ready? Is everyone ready to freak out? We're gonna freak out. We're gonna all get scatty with it.
A full reboot. All my cameras, everything's struggling. I'm shooting through a fence.
Hmm?
It's just really jumpy though. Oh, you shooting through.
Oh, you live? Or I say live, recording.
Oh, you didn't.
I caught that.
Guys, just so you know, we're about to go live in a couple of seconds. Hang on.
Yeah, time is ready, mate.
Chris, now hold your shot. Chris, hold your shot. Chris, you're alive. Chris, you're alive.
Rob, here's Laura. Can you hear Brian through this?
What's with this?
Nothing, mate. Don't you focus.
I can't hear Brian.
It's on board, man.
They are awesome.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
They're fantastic.
Can we follow 34, please, quickly? 34, 34, 34, 34. I don't know where he is, though.
Coming up through cam 5.
Cam 5, Karen, cam 5. Cam 5.
So it'll be in front of Martin shot now.
Martin, apparently your shot, Martin.
919 is just set purple sector 1.
919. That was close.
919 purple sector 1. He'll be coming up into 6. Hang on, sorry, mate.
I got a really cool shot and then I went live.
Right. That's your job now, mate.
For some reason, the radios mess with the stream decks in production sometimes. So I was also helping queue up Laura, the pit lane camera op, for when she was going live.
9 minutes 30 left to go.
Oh,
One time on the left.
Laura, you're live. Laura, you're live. Great shot, great shot. Keep it, keep it.
Hold it.
Hold, 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 hold. Follow the car, and you're clear, thank you. Great shot, great shot.
I'm going to use that shot in a second.
Okay, Laura, hold that shot, Laura, hold that shot.
Live.
Laura, you're live, Laura, you're live. Laura, you're clear, thank you. Unfortunately, she was having an issue with her camera, so another part of my day was running spares out to have a spare camera?
Have we?
Yes.
Put it, yeah, go send it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it down.
And while I was down there, I helped out spot her, essentially just making sure she's not bumping into any cars, nor getting in anybody's way. Because when your eyes are focused on the camera, your peripheral vision doesn't really work very well.
Hello. How long have we got to whenever?
Same to you, Brian. You've done an excellent job so far.
Clear, well done.
Good job. Towards the end of the day, as runner, I started to plan packdown. It's okay to let him pack down as quickly as possible.
Well, he can just be static. He can leave it static and then fuck off.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Some of the crew have rental cars, so preferably they can pack down first to go and collect the other ops. While that was happening, I went to collect the static cameras. Now, we had a few weeks filming at Portimão, and I spent the next 2 weeks as a camera operator, but we'll get into that bit later. Once the final race day had been concluded, it was time to pack down. Good morning, it is Monday, so it's after all the racing, and today we have to de-rig Portimão. Yesterday was our final race day at Portimão for the year, so we need to de-rig all the kit that we've got there, including all the fibre reels that we obviously set out a couple of weeks ago, bring down all the scaffolding, load it all into the van, and then I've got to bugger off to Portimão, not Portimão, to Estoril. That's the one I was meant to say.
Right, do we have a plan or?
All right. Well, hang on. The access road on the outside of the circuit. So, underneath the tunnel, turn right.
Which point am I going to?
So we're going to go to point 8. So we start by disconnecting the ends of the fibre from both our boxes at the camera points and the circuit boxes, so the cables are ready to be reeled in. So between me and Morgan, we are collecting the kit that brings the fibre network together. Then we could reel in all the cables and start getting the vans packed. We'll go into the full pack down a little later on, but once that was complete, we had to get on the road to make the 3-hour trip back to Estoril. Well, we have now arrived in Estoril, and we have 2 days off. So we can relax, we can chill, and that means I will see you on Thursday. Thursday, yes, 2 days time. See you then. Well, good morning. It is Thursday, which means we are now at Estoril. We're currently doing all sorts of stuff. So first thing we've got to do is get all the kit out of the van that we transported from Portimão to Estoril. So we've got 2 working vans to use, and then we need to go and set up some fibre. I'm guessing most of this is just the stuff you used last time here.
Yeah, I think we only took a few bits with us.
Yeah. This setup would be slightly different because we'd already rigged the circuit a few weeks prior. Most of the kit was already in place, but as we now had all the Portimão kit with us as well, we could reinforce the infrastructure just to make the network a little bit stronger.
Try and get the cable over the top of this around the back because they might need these if some barrier damage happens or something like that.
For example, where possible, we'll always use fibre cables instead of antennas, as it's a far more reliable way of transmission. We've run fibre cables, and now we've just got to connect them up. So essentially, it's these kind of boxes where we just need to plug them in, essentially. Because the production van came to Portimão after the first weekend, some parts of the kits we initially built had been brought to Portimão as backup. So we just need to redo some of those things.
Yeah, I've got a red light. Yeah.
Perfect, okay, that works. Alright, so it's last day before race day, it's Friday, and essentially what we're going to do today is we've got to go through all of the kit now and figure out what's missing, what needs fixing, what needs replacing, etc, etc. The reason for that is obviously we've done 3 events and things have gone missing, so we just need to do a stop check and figure out the things that need to be accounted for.
This is 178. Oh, we haven't found it.
So with this, we had a checklist on each box we needed to go through and make sure everything that was supposed to be in the box was still there. Anything that wasn't, we would dig into the spares to make the box complete again.
171, 172. They're all still working.
171, 172 are left here. We didn't have them at Portimão.
Oh, so they're here somewhere.
So they're probably
So, got all of the kit kind of organised, we've got the last camera tested. Now, I've been asked to go and film some content. So, yeah, that's what we're doing now. For Porsche Sprint Challenge, Alf would typically create a reel prior to each event to drum up interest on the socials ahead of the broadcast. So typically you'd want a healthy balance of track action and sort of pit lane paddock footage. Unfortunately it began raining, but it at least made the clips look really cool. Safe to say, I feel like I'm at home. Apart from that, obviously. It's a bit wet.
Is it raining?
A little bit.
You definitely look like you've been for a swim.
I basically have. Yeah, I've got 60 clips of me going. Once I was drenched to the bone though, it was time to edit. I didn't have my laptop with me, so I had to edit on my phone. But it came out looking really, really good. And after that, we called it a day. Well, good morning. It is race day and we're now at the camera point. I'm on camera today, so just need to firstly get set up, get everything connected, and then we can wait to go live, essentially. As we've done before, the camera needs setting up fully and the production box booting up. Then we'll test the signal and comms with the production to make sure it's all working correctly. After that, it's as simple as point a camera at race cars until they tell you to stop.
Stand by it. Stand by it.
Now for Estoril packdown, all our kit has to be down that day, so it'll be a late one. I started with getting my own camera down and walking to the meeting point. Hello. Yeah, alright, thanks.
Are you recording?
Just to prove the amount of abuse I get from you guys. Now first up are the scaffs. A few of us are certified to build, work with and disassemble these scaff towers. As one of them, I typically get assigned to take them down. Got it? Sure. Between me and Morgan, we take the tower down, ready to be collected, and then join the rest of the crew to reel in all the fibre cables. We worked right into the evening to get all the kit from the track, while the production crew packed the vans. Meaning once we finished our cables, Estoril was complete. Alright, well that is it. It's been a fairly uneventful one, which is always a good thing. And at the moment we're just kind of walking back to production in the middle of the track on the back straight. And I shall see you again in the next one, which we will be going to Valencia. I'll see you then. After flying back to the UK and having a few days at home, it was time to fly back out for Valencia. The team had driven across Portugal and Spain and had even begun setup by the time I was on site. Well, good morning. We are in Valencia. We are here for the GT Winter Series, and I just want to say, look at this view. This is the massive sort of pit building. Well, there's all the pit buildings out there. This is the massive pit building that we're based production in, and we've got a lot to do today. So we're going to finish camera testing because the team have already been on site testing most of them. With the statics, we're going to do the roaming camera, we're going to set up the onboards, and then we're just going to do one final check of everything before we go live tomorrow. So that's what we're doing.
You're with Adam for recording some content.
Okay.
Today. I don't know what he's planning or when he's planning on.
Well, by the sounds of what we did last time, there is no plan and we just make it up as we go along.
Okay.
So I started off by assembling the pit lane camera and heading down to the pits with Adam the commentator as he rounds up drivers for an interview. Kieran. I want to do it here where we're not in the sun.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, they can be there if they want, but I don't want the camera basically so that you can see the sun there.
No, exactly. Well, I mean, just you take the lead on that.
All right.
Because I can't see what
Yeah,
you're
that's fine, yeah.
dealing with. We all good, ready to go?
When you're ready.
Excellent, yep.
These interviews we are recording are designated for social media, but also give us the option to use them during the broadcasts if we have a lull in the racing, a red flag or a delay, for example. Each day is good practice to do a comms check, essentially just checking the commentator headphones just to make sure the audio is coming in and going out all the correct inputs. So this one's got a big head. This is Adam's headset, it's a massive, it's going to fall off. Right, how's that? Can't hear it at all. Yep, yep. Second one's a bit quieter. Okay. The first one. Each commentator has multiple buttons to do different things. One just goes live, one is a private channel to talk with a director, and one can do PA announcements.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let's talk about 1 and 2. Okay. Commentating a very exciting race. Okay, so we've got a couple of Ferraris coming down the start-finish straight. Aston Martin, yeah?
Once that was done, we went back with Adam to film more content, and basically just spent the rest of the day doing that.
And it is race day number 1. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get all the cam mops out to their position and set up all the individual cameras. I'm the runner today, so that means I get to run around solving problems. So, let's get going.
So, as always, I'm off to drop the camera operators out at their points and generally just be an additional pair of hands throughout the day.
Oakley dokley, which radio are you not using?
That one, thank you.
Secret channel 9.
9.
Yeah.
Check. Cool.
Right, everybody ready? Yeah. That side of the car.
On this particular day, one of the camera ops had actually missed a flight, so he was on a later one that was due to arrive shortly before we were going live. As a result, I set up his camera for him so he could just arrive and get straight onto it.
So everyone's at the camera points, all the issues are sorted. Now we go live.
Once it does, with any luck, we'll have 5 lights that then go out and we will go racing in the Formula Winter Series. It is Gabriel Gomez and Leo Robinson on the front row. It is Gomez to the left of your screen, and it is Gomez who gets a good start, but Robinson seems to have the edge once again off the line, but he's squeezed out by Gabriel Gomez. Gomez will lead into the first corner, Robinson second. All bets are off further back as everyone scrambles for position going through the first corners, a few of them running.
Just before the end of the first race, I popped down to the pit lane to boot up the podium camera and get it all framed up. I'm just sending a photo to Luke to double check he's happy with the framing, as Will, the producer, is busy mixing the racing. We also had some issues with the start-finish static, so I had to spend a fair bit of time going through the kit to find the issue. In the end, we just replaced the camera, which still didn't work. So we got another production box and just plugged that in instead. After that, I headed out onto the grid to spot for Joe and Izzy during the grid walks. So, as I mentioned back in Portimão, spotting is essentially just making sure that Joe doesn't hit or get hit by anyone or anything. There's a lot of people and equipment on a grid walk, so having an extra body just to watch your step is actually really helpful.
Okay, alright.
By the end of the day, the sun had gone in and I went up to Luke to help him pack down first. He was on a really tall platform, so it's not impossible but just difficult to get the kit up and down by yourself. Then I headed round the track to collect some of the other camera ops.
Lovely. Cool.
Hope you get some kind of countdown.
Thank you very much. Alright. Oh.
No, I need a kiss.
Oh, I need a kiss as well.
The last thing we had to do was just get all of the kit on charge ahead of day 2. Outers, yes.
I'll grab my food up the back.
Is your camera on?
Yes.
Should come up close.
Go on then.
Morning is broken. Chris has had a poo. I'm not sure it's today's poo, it might have been yesterday's, but he's had one and he feels a whole lot happier.
Chris has had a shit and everything is better for everyone.
Lovely. It was a really early start the next morning, but same as before, I went out to drop them at all their camera points. Now, because of how long we were going to be filming that day, we had to be so vigilant about the camera batteries. So I went around to collect the dead ones as soon as they were finished with, so I'd get them back on charge and hopefully use them later in the day should they be needed.
Cool. Alright, this is your dead one.
The dead one is...
Yeah, this one, yeah? Cool. Alright, thank you.
There's like one more on there, but it's two in here.
Okay, yeah, no worries. There's a couple like that, so...
There's 4 on that one and then two full ones.
Cool. Alright, cheers, thank you.
In the SR Motorsport second, Charlie Robinson is now some 1.4 seconds.
Charlie, running in the GT board in the invitational classes, you are running the new e-bike earlier in the week.
What are you doing right now?
Pull me back.
Spotting.
You're filming for a bit, please. So much pain.
For these, we were just doing interviews with Izzy so that they could drop them into the stream wherever they wanted. They weren't live, just being pre-recorded.
Last year we thinking it.
There you go.
So I tried to get back in time, but
That's all good, don't
I
worry.
had nothing in me to run.
Right.
Now, towards the end of the day, I ran out once again to get the ops, but I got taken off it pretty quickly as we only had a small window of time to retrieve the onboards out of the cars between Parc Fermé ending and the teams loading the cars onto their trucks and going home. So I went down to Mike, who was the onboard op that weekend, to give him a hand.
Are we okay to take camera?
Yes, any problem.
Oh, okay.
Perfect, okay.
So the onboards are clamped onto the roll cage in various points, and we also use about 1 million cable ties to really make sure they don't go anywhere. Thankfully, once you've done a couple, you get into a rhythm and you can get them out pretty quickly. Then we just had to organise all the onboard kit back into their corresponding boxes. Firstly, to be used next week, but secondly, so we could go through, figure out which batteries were dead and get them onto charge. As you can see, as a runner you basically have to do a bit of everything. I absolutely love being a runner because of that exact thing, but it's pretty tiring, and subsequently I forgot my camera was still recording.
It is still on. Valencia, baby.
Peace out.
Good morning and welcome to Valencia, and this time it's the Porsches. So we're on a camera point today, we're at camera point 3, so yeah, should be a good day. First thing to do, get set up. So yes, I was put on camera point 3 for this one. So we got dropped off and it's time to set up.
Comms check.
Hello Kieran, sorry mate. So I've got your camera, I've got audio, and hopefully you can hear me on my book.
Alright, well we're all set up now. I've got my feeds. Now it's time to film. So as a camera operator, you receive instructions from the producer through your headphones.
We're on board at the minute with car 82. It's a grey black Porsche. It's going around earshot now. We're just trying to show off as much of the onboards as possible.
He has an open mic, which basically means it's always on, and he will talk us through what cars we are following, what important information we should know about, and if there's any specific shots that he wants. For example, he may say get close up on P4 because the commentary team are talking about that car. I also like to mount my phone on the tripod arm, so I can see the stream. It makes it so much easier to follow, especially at a car circuit where you can't really see the whole track, and sometimes you zone out for a second, or you miss a direction, or you're just not really sure what car you should be following. You can keep an eye on the stream and see exactly where the action is and exactly what you should be following. Obviously, part of it is also initiative. You need to be confident in not only your own camera operation ability, but also your racing knowledge to spot when things might be happening, to pick out something before it happens.
Replay crash on my camera.
Now you don't always need to call out crash or replay because if your camera is live, they have already seen it. But we have something called a tally light, which is basically just a light to tell you when you're live. So if you were to catch something on your camera when you weren't live, you can call out crash or spinner or replay for something interesting. So the director and the replay operator are aware something's happened on your camera. They can then have a look at it and show it on the stream if they want to. Another really interesting thing is how you have the screen in front of you, but you always have to be so aware of what else is going on outside of your camera shot, because by doing that you can then pick up things before they happen. Now, in an instance like this one, we won't show the crash or the scene until we know the driver is okay. It turned out the driver who rolled was India movie star Ajit Kumar. Turns out he was okay, and I followed him walking away from the scene.
Well, that was an interesting end to the race. I wasn't filming on this camera, but thankfully I had the SD card in the actual camera and I did film it. And that was quite a hectic end to the race. But that is race day done. The actual racing part of it is done anyway. Now what I've got to do is pack down. But because this is the last day that we're filming here in Valencia, we're in Barcelona and Aragon next week, we've got 2 events concurrently, it means that everything has to be packed up, preferably tonight. You can see what that means. We are nowhere near done yet. Alright, so that's everything packed up, and now we're going to pack up everything else. Now, I've just been told that we're coming back here tomorrow just to finalise a little bit. So, for example, we've got this fibre box here. As you can see, it's running across the road and then it's going up to a fibre point just up there. So, for the time being, we just need to go and pack down production. So, that's our job for today.
Great catch up.
Thank you.
I hear you got best shot of the week, Chris. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
That's what they tell me.
You don't believe it, from turn 2 I managed to get down that angle. Track level.
Wow.
Now, I should give a bit of background context to this. Chris is Mr. International Celebrity Camera Operator, as he's come to be known.
Hola. Buenos dias. Por favor. Señorita. Welcome to Valencia.
And in all fairness, he normally gets really good catches. Very rarely misses anything. But obviously, the only notable crash of the day was in front of me, which I caught.
It's nothing personal, Kieran. It's contractual.
Is it? Is it? Yes.
The question is, was your GoPro rolling at that point?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, you missed that.
What was rolling though?
No evidence. It's clearly Chris's shot.
I had an SD card in the camera that was filming. It was recording. So I do have the raw footage of it.
Now, we just packed away a couple of bits, organised the kit as the main grunt of the work was to be done the next day. First thing in the morning, me and Joe had to go and collect all the fibre cables, and then me and Luke had to do another kit check. Firstly, just making sure everything is there, and secondly, splitting the kit, which hadn't done 2 separate events since the very first weekend in Portimão. This was because the next weekend had both Barcelona and Aragon, so we needed 2 separate kits to go and do both of those events. Then we packed them onto the cages and sent them down to load into the van.
Well, there we go. Valencia is packed up. I'm on a wheelie chair because why not? It's fun, but I'm a bit dizzy. Yeah, so we packed everything up now. Apart from a few bits you can see sort of dotted around, but we're basically done. Now it is time to get everything into the vans, which I believe they're doing downstairs. And then go to Barcelona.
So once the vans were completely loaded, it was time to hit the road to Barcelona. It's about a 4-hour drive, so, you know, you get bored. But we eventually made it.
Well, good morning and welcome to another circuit. Today we have arrived at Barcelona. But yeah, so essentially what we're going to do today is we have got to get everything out of the van, reorganise it all, let's get production set up, run some fibre cables, go get cameras tested, blah de blah de blah. You've all seen this all before, but we're doing it again. Yes. Yeah, we're doing it again.
So we start by unloading the van of all the kit that will be needed, and while the team build up production, I head out to set up the fibre network. Now, fibre is actually quite simple. It's a series of hollow cores, as they're called, and inside they're lined with glass and reflect the light down there. Data is sent via the light flashing down the cores. You need a converter at either end to translate the signal into something more conventional, like a video feed for example. A lot of circuits actually have their own fibre network built in, so as described, it's just a big compilation of cores sending signals around the track. Things like the digiflags and the circuit CCTV all use a fibre network. So when we're plugging into the circuit fibre network, we're essentially connecting our fibre cables at one end to send a signal through and receive them out one port in the paddock, convert them into the video feed and then sending them into production. We also need to run cables to camera points, which sometimes requires some very interesting routing, like here at turn 1. Next we head to camera 7 to run our longest fibre cable, which is 350 metres. It may not sound like a massive amount, but the cable is armoured, so it's really heavy. So one thing you may have realised is that half this job is literally reeling fibre, reeling cables, because how else are you going to get the feed back to production? This is 350 metres. Do with that information what you will. Because of the run we have to lay the cable on, we need to take it off the reel first and then drag it to where we're connecting it to.
Hello. Hello. Would you like me to sort of guide this down? You'll realise.
Yeah. Whoop, that's it! So we pass it through the fence, down the hill to James, and then he drags it across the bridge, over the paddock, back to production to plug it in at their end.
So you want white?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Kieran's got white.
Once cables are run, we connect our fibre boxes the same as you saw in Portimão. So the job of the fibre box at the camera point is essentially to receive the video feed, convert it to fibre, send it back to production where it will be converted back to a video feed and put into the production PC. With the cables that we use, they have multiple cores that are colour coded, so you have to make sure that whatever colour you use at one end is the same at the other, or obviously it won't work. So you can test the cores by using a fibre light, sending a light down the cable to the other end, so someone can just double check the light is coming through, it's strong and it's stable, which indicates the cable is good to be used.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a light.
Sweet.
Nice.
We'll use white then.
We'll use white then.
Cool, you can copy each other what each other say as well.
I know.
We spent too much time together.
Now thankfully, while we're doing all of this, the other guys were testing cameras, so we could just smash through setup. Right, so we're pretty much right at the end of the day now. We've tested all but one camera, and we need to kind of readjust one of the other cameras. I'm running to cam 4 because it has a antenna which is receiving a signal from cam 2, which is all, I know sounds really complicated, but it's very basic. And basically I just need to power the antenna at cam 4, run around to cam 2, test it, go, yep, Bob's your uncle, it's all working, sweet, and then we can go home. We'll go to the hotel. So powering up the antenna and fibre converter at cam 4, then run around to cam 2 just to check the signal is coming in. Right, so I know what I was trying to explain sounds really complicated, but here's the simple fact of the matter. That's the antenna. It's pointing currently down there. That's where we had the original receiver for. Now we set the receiver up there on that hill. So we're going to twist the antenna up there and hope it works. Make sense? Basically, it wasn't very stable, so we figured this would probably be a bit more reliable. Yep, they've got the camera coming in. That's good. Cool. So, that is my final camera test of the day. And so that wraps up 2 days of setup and testing here at Barcelona. Now, I believe the plan is we're supposed to have a day off. So, I'll see you in a couple of days. Now, after this, the team for Aragon headed off there to set up, while a couple of us stayed in Barcelona for the Porsche event. So we had a day off, and then back to it the following day.
Hello, welcome to Thursday. So essentially what we're going to do today is sanity check. So we're going to go around and test all of the cameras and just make sure that they're all connecting and going into production correctly. Now, yes, okay, we've already been around and tested all of the cameras, but in doing all of that, obviously we ran into a few problems, and we want to make sure that the problems that we faced were just a one-off and then we've solved them and it's not a reoccurring issue. So me and Luke are going to go round, test everything, and just make sure everything is good and dandy, making notes of anything that the camera ops need to know about. And yeah, that's kind of the job for today.
So first off, we organised the kit we need to test, get it into the car, and it's time to basically just sanity check all of the cameras. We had a few minor issues throughout the day, most notably with camera 8, as something in the box just wasn't working. But the rest of them thankfully worked fairly smoothly. At the end of the day, we just had to put stuff on charge ready for the race day.
Well, good morning. It is Friday, it is the day before race day, and we haven't got a massive amount of stuff to do today. So here's what our plan is for the day. We're going to go around the circuit now and just taking a camera with us to check the placements of all the advertising, the Porsche advertising. Basically using the camera and just seeing, is the advertising in the right spot, the most optimal spot for that shot, or does it need to be moved? Then if any of them need to be moved, we then tell Porsche, move that bit, and they will. While I'm going around, I'm going to film some social content. So like what I did at Estoril, I'm going to run around, get some content and edit it together into a reel for Alpha Live to share. Then once we've done that, I think it's just a case of organising production and make sure everything's ready for tomorrow. And that's it. Fingers crossed nothing crops up. But let's get going.
I'll be honest, we found the majority of the advertising placements to be pretty good, so all I had to really do was film social content for the weekend build-up reel. Exactly the same as what I did in Estoril, but with the sun out instead of heavy rain. It's a very cool way to see the circuit because you can literally go anywhere. You have the same access as the photographers do, and they can obviously get really close to the circuit, so you really get to see everything there is to see about the circuit. After that, it was time to just edit the reel together. Again, I didn't have my laptop, so editing on the phone was the only option. But finally, that was all the weekend prep completed.
Well, good morning, it is race day, and as you can see the sun is just about out, but it's not supposed to stay that way. So, today what we've got to do, we're going to take all the cam mobs out to their positions, then get the Zaptic set up, and then hopefully we're all good to go live. Very quick process this morning, so let's get on with it.
So once again, I'm the runner. Same as always, drop the camera ops off, set up the statics, and be on hand for any issues.
Right, you're with me, you're with Dan. I've also got Cammy and Jack. Cammy, that's yours. Oh, thank you. Jack, that is yours.
I am on my book. It's might muted though. No, it's not muted.
No?
I'm here.
Well, we only changed the encode, we haven't changed the Wi-Fi or anything.
Right,
there you go.
I got you.
Cool. Bye then.
Cool.
Sweet, cheers mate. All good then?
Yeah, all good I think.
Rock on.
Cool, alright. I shall see you in a bit.
Right, so we're live in 10 minutes. Okay, so I've no Brian at the moment. I think Brian should be getting very shortly. Brian, can you hear me? Rob, do you fancy commentating as well?
Alright, I could give it a go. And they're going around that corner.
And they're going around the next corner.
The next corner. Fun facts for Barcelona circuit. There's a couple of apexes. There's a couple of long straights. There is a start-finish line. That's it.
Thank you for joining our live stream of Porsche Shows on Europe. Here we go. So Luke Jones, on to you, mate. On to you. 3, 2, 1. Luke Jones, you're live. There's still 2 laps. There's a lap and a half.
Get it on.
Luke Jones, Luke Watt, on to you. 3, 2, 1. Luke Watt. Ben, are you ready for the shot? Ben, ready for the shot. There you go. Go big one, go big one, go big one, go big one. Go big one, big one. Yeah, baby!
Alright, so that is race day at an end. The racing is just finishing, as you can probably hear. We have to pack down everything.
Because we're at Barcelona for 3 weeks, we had to bring kit like the cameras and the production boxes in, but all of the fibre setup could stay in place. So grab the cameras, pop them on charge, and we were ready for weekend number 2.
Well, hello and welcome back to Barcelona. We're here this time for GTs, and we're here on the Friday, so first things what we're going to do is go and test all the cameras once again. So, boot full of kit, and we're going to go test them out on the circuit first, and then we're going to do onboards. Should be a fun day.
So as always, sanity checking camera feeds in the same setup as last week. Unfortunately, due to the wet weather, it hampered our progress and caused a few issues too, but we eventually managed to get it all sorted.
Hello Luke, do you hear us? 154 camera 9, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, yeah, well, I can.
Well, there we go. It's been a slightly complicated day. We've had a lot of issues, but the sun is setting. Well, I said the sun is setting. The light is going because there is no sun. It is wet. Yeah, we're all done. So race day tomorrow.
Now, one of the roles that you've seen bits of is doing the onboard cameras, and this weekend it was my turn. Unfortunately, because teams can be quite private about what's in their cars, they don't always like filming, so I couldn't get as much footage as I really would perhaps like to have done. But I'll do my best to walk you through the process anyway. So we start the day with going through the onboard chat, just to find all the information of the cameras that had been fitted the previous day while we were out doing all the testing. Then everybody has a slightly different way of managing them. I came up with this live document that allows me to know when cameras are being fitted and when they're being powered on as well.
I've got to fit onboards, just, I don't know, find a battery or paint.
Shit, you do, don't you? Yeah.
Yes, I've got 3 to fit.
Yeah. Do you know which ones are...
Yeah, I've just had to make a long list of everything.
So in the morning, we start by fitting the remaining onboards. You have 3 major parts to an onboard camera: the camera itself, the transmitter, and then the power source. Both the camera and the transmitter have these really ultra strong clamps that we then cable tie just to the roll cage for extra support. The battery doesn't have a clamp, but it's cable tied in a way which makes it really secure. Then we need to tidy up the wires by cable tying them to the cages as well. So all in all, you're probably using 20, 30, 40 cable ties per car. After that, you have to check with the person managing the onboard feeds if the camera is coming in okay, if the image is stable, and if the audio is in sync with the video.
Okay,
it will look quite high because it's in the murk and the back so it's going high up.
yeah, I've just seen your photo, it just looks really high. Yeah, as long as that looks okay. Yeah, cool. Right.
Now the cameras don't stay powered on all day to preserve the battery, so the onboard op is also responsible for running around the paddock and powering off the kit whenever it's not needed. At the end of the day, all we need to do is collect the batteries out of the cars and pop them on charge.
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been able to show you quite as much as I normally do today. But on the plus side, I just get to spend my entire time around them when they're not out on track. So at the moment, it's the end of the day. We can get all the cameras out of the, well, not the cameras, but the batteries, the power of the cameras out of the cars.
Unfortunately though, timekeeping had an issue with our onboards.
Yeah.
Hey mate, how are you? Oh. Yeah, we've got some things to talk about. Oh, really? And I'm not so happy about your onboards in the protos.
So are we leaving prototypes tomorrow on boards, or are we going to try them?
Take them out.
Take them out.
Yeah, just some point in the day, just take them out.
So the next morning, I start the day off by making a plan of what cameras need to be powered up and when. This is so I never have to question what needs doing during the day, and with a clear plan in place, it makes it 10 times easier to manage. Now firstly I had to run around and take the cameras out of the prototypes before I was able to get on with the rest of my day. I started off by booting cameras up for the first race. 173 maybe? Should we come again? Ready? 5, 4, 3. Cool. Now the countdown that you see, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, is basically our way of syncing the video and the audio together. We count down while gesturing with our hands, so the person at the other end can see if the video and the audio are synced or not. Once that was done, I could leave it, but unfortunately, one of the cameras cut out as it left the pit lane. So I had to run to the grid and redo it, which is a slightly stressful thing in that kind of environment. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm with them now. Sorry, can I squeeze in? Sorry. Thank you. Okay, camera's off. Just turn the encoder off now. Right. Camera back on. Okay, well, I'm just rebooting them both anyway. Okay, right, it doesn't feel hot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. It looks, it's pretty secure. I can't get it any more secure, so. All right, all good, yeah? No, it's fine. But anyway, the rest of the day essentially consists of just running around the paddock, turning cameras on, doing tests, turning other cameras off to save battery, and just making sure all the cameras are powered up when they need to be. And come the end of the day, we have to fully de-rig them. As you may remember from Valencia, the teams want to get out of there as quickly as possible, so we have to move quick. So you just get some snips and you cut away all the cable ties to remove them as quickly as possible. Yeah, obviously this one's been a little bit different because, yeah, with onboards you don't really abide by the same kind of structure as everything else. And I've written up a plan of when things need to go and be turned on, when they need to be turned off, when they need to be rigged, de-rigged, blah 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 blah, all that good stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing, really. And at the end of the day, all I've got to do is get everything on charge after it's been organised. We've still got one more week at Barcelona, so it's just a case of pop them on charge and we're done. Oh, welcome back to Barcelona. It is currently, absolutely horrible weather. I mean, look at this. Came away from the UK to get away from that. But no, anyway, so today, well this weekend I should say, we are here for the 6 hours of Barcelona. Now this is slightly different to the normal GT events that we've had. It's only one day live, which is Sunday. Today is Friday. So what we're doing today and tomorrow is today we're going to fit onboards and just get all those tested, make sure everything is up and running. Then tomorrow, what we're going to do is we are going to be getting all the cameras tested. Then Sunday, we go live. Make sense? Cool, let's get going. All right, so this is the piece of paper I worked out for last week for the onboards. Now, essentially what this is showing is these are the cars that need turning on, these are the cars that need turning off, these are the cars that it's got fitted, and I have now been given a list of the designated onboards for this weekend. A big document like this. So I need to go through this, work out which cars are needed in it, then work out a plan to get the cameras in it in the most efficient manner. Obviously, we've got to fit all of the cameras today. It has to be done today. So, same as last week, I'm basically just writing a plan for this so I can get stuck in and smash them all out. So we start by organising the boxes to make sure that all the kit is there and the batteries that we left on charge go back into the correct boxes so they're ready to be fitted into the cars. Then we just do a sanity check with Stuart based in the UK, making sure the feeds are coming in okay.
Got feed.
Cool.
Let's just do a quick thing, check on the audio, make sure it's not the same.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
About 1.5, 2 seconds.
Cool. That's powered. So hopefully you should see it in a minute.
It actually turned into a bit of an assembly line, with me, Luke and Will all jumping in to get them tested, which meant we managed to fire through all the testing. Okay, now that we've got all of the onboards fitted, now that we've got all the onboards tested, now it's time to fit them. So same as last week, camera, transmitter and power supply clamped and cable tied into the cars. We also have a few people with us to A, get it done quicker, but B, train Ian up as he'd never worked with onboards before. Anyway, because we faced a load of issues, the onboard fitting fell into the Saturday. All the camera ops had arrived, so they were able to go and test their own camera points, which made Saturday a very busy day for setup with the amount of people that we had on site. But once all their cameras were tested, and after we got all of the remaining cameras fitted into the cars, our job for the day was done, so we could move on to race day.
Good morning, it is race day. It is so peaceful before the cars start running. It's the last race day of the entire series. It's, you know, been 2 months of quite hard work, a lot of travelling, and it all culminates today. So I guess let's get our camera set up for one last time.
So one last time, just booting up the cameras, checking the feeds are clear, and we're good to go.
Well, that's my camera all set up now and everything. Now I've just got to walk up the access road up to camera 2, which is a static, and I'm going to set that one up, and then I'm going to chill. It's a lovely day at the moment. Fingers crossed it stays like this.
I was a camera op that day, so we started with a short TCR Spain race, which is always fun to film. And then it was time for the 6 hours of Barcelona. Over the course of the day, the sun got gradually more scarce and the temperature dropped. And then,
well, it's raining now. Troll looking here and comes out.
But eventually the race was complete. TCR Spain came out for one last quick race, which was spectacular in the wet. So spectacular, the safety car came out very shortly afterwards.
Alright, well that's it. That is the last day of racing of the Winter Series. And even though we are finished filming, we are a long way from being done. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pack down my point, and unfortunately it's not just as simple as packing down the camera and the production boxes, because there's a bit more to this point than that. You see, if you have a look, there's cable going over there, and there's cable going over there, and cable going all the way around the outside, and then there's more stuff over there, and yeah, this is going to take a while. And then I've got to go and pack down a static, and then I've got to go pick up 2 people. We're going to be a while yet, I think.
So because this was the final event, everything needed to come back. So it started with the camera, tripod and production box, unhooking that from the network, and then it was time to bring in those cables and the cable mats. Next we unplugged the fibre patches we installed a few weeks ago, so our kit is no longer plugged into their fibre network.
So this is just the fibre stuff that we did a couple of weeks ago. God, it's been a couple of weeks, oh my god. Packing it all down, getting it all nice and tidy now. That's literally it. Now, however, I've got the really tricky one, which is this Ethernet cable. This Ethernet cable goes all the way from here to my camera point. This is a 50 metre. It goes through 2 gaps in the road, both of which have been buried down. Yay. So I've got out the gap over there. Now I need to get it out of this gap. Now, I did have to wedge it down. I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. I put it in all these stones down here, which is coming up thankfully fairly easily. But it's, oh, look how dirty it is. Oh, I hear the end of it. There it is. Around and out. Sweet. Right, camera 2. This should be quite a quick one.
On to the next one. So once the cameras were packed, I collected the ops and it was time to organise the kit. Now we weren't completely packing the kit because the core team would be back on site the following day to completely do that. So all we had to do was get everything on charge, ready for the events that the kit was going to after that, and make it organised just to make our lives easier for packdown. I did go ahead and pack down the commentary desk, and amazingly some of the ops managed to pull in the big 350-metre fibre cable, but it'd been such a long day we decided to call it after that.
One of you two, decide amongst yourselves who wants to go.
Right, well, I'm getting
Go.
Yeah, go, yeah.
Wake me up before you go.
Yeah.
Go. Well, it is officially the last day of the Winter Series now, and today what we're going to do is just finish up the pack down. We didn't quite get finished yesterday, so it's a bit to get out off the track. So we've got to pack down production, get everything tied up, get everything into the van, and then we're done.
Is that power wheel still there as well?
Yeah, power wheel's still up there. Shouldn't need any tools, I would have thought.
I think so.
So on the final day, because the ops took most of the bulky kit out the day before, our job was fairly simple. Remove the remaining fibre patches we had installed into the circuit's network that allowed our kit to plumb into the network, finish reeling in any cables and fibre, and then pack the van with all of the kit. So cam 4 first, starting with the fibre patches.
Of course.
Yeah, we can work with a gigantic mess of cables, but a door is where our intelligence ends.
Ah, there we go.
Once we got past the door, it's as simple as unplugging the patches and tidying up our kit from the room.
That one is ours, 107, I remember that. And I believe it was 110 as well.
Then we had to tidy up the fibre reel, finish tidying up all the odd little cables, collect the cam 2 receiving antenna, and then reel the fibre back in.
Okay.
Now sometimes the fibre can get loose, which is disastrous, so usually what we do is remove the slack cable off the reel and just do it again.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Okay. Okay, plan B. Reel it again, yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Once that's done, we can pack it all into the car, do one final sanity check to make sure we haven't missed anything, and move on.
Yeah, I can't quite reach that top cable tie.
Next up was cam 3, just to collect the antenna set up there, as everything else had already been taken the day before. Trouble is, it was very high, and we're not very tall, so sometimes you have to get creative and improvise.
Yeah. Get that one. This hole's just going to fall. Cool.
Next there's a patch up at cam 6 that needed removing. It goes through 2 fences, so it's a little bit fiddly. So first we unplug from the fibre box, feed it through the fence, then head around so we can collect the kit from the other side. Then chuck the cables over the second fence to Morgan so he can start tidying up next to the actual camera point.
That's not gone well.
So we've got power, fibre and boxes all up there. Between us we just need to reel everything in, tidy it all up and make sure we don't miss anything. Starting with tidying up the power and the Ethernet cables, then we need to reel the fibre back in.
That's painful.
Then just load it all into the car. So we've collected all that kit, and once that's all done, it's time to start packing the van. First with the fibre cables which go in the front. Thankfully Luke and Joe had already loaded the cages with all of the kit, so now all we've got to do is fill the remaining space with all the miscellaneous kit that's lying around.
Does it matter where all of this goes?
Put that right in.
Okay.
But eventually we were all done.
Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you indeed.
Have a safe journey back.
Yes.
You still recording?
I am.
I haven't actually done
You haven't? No, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for your spur of the moment. I'm waiting for your spur of the moment goodbye.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's ain't over. It's never over.
It's not over. Oh, it's over.
It is over. Yeah.
Strange.
So yeah, that's pretty much how we got from the start to the finish of the 2025 Winter Series. And it was a blast.
Fair play.
Big shot.
Down to your last $5 to
I can't take someone seriously when they're standing back and keep on.
So I've not come to help, I've just come to laugh.
Hello.
Who started? I'm so sorry. You crestfallen alone now. Do you believe it is
Who's stuck behind there?
Last word.
He's actually still letting him one. Good luck.
And the downward hop.
The downward rob.
There you go, that counts, right?
It's also recording you as being the problem.
That's not necessarily true.
I'm so sorry. You crestfallen alone now. Do you believe it is new? Some bigger than you. Some bigger than me. Until you wish it was true. Do you wish it was me?
Do you get any views on this?